my name is Ibrahim, and today I'm going to be talking about why prostitution should not be okay. So, let's talk about modesty. An example is me wearing the hijab. So, before I started wearing it, I never dressed provocatively, but I would dress to my own comfort. So, sometimes I would wear crop tops and tight clothings, but I wasn't aware that all of this was causing attention to my body. But you have to be aware of what you wear, because even though you may not want to cause attention, it's going to cause it anyway. So it's good to be mindful of what you're putting out there. Oftentimes in society, we aren't mindful and we treat everything like, oh, it's okay, it's alright, it's my body, I can do what I want. Which is true, but if you do whatever you want, you're gonna get results that you do not want. I didn't like people catcalling me or trying to get my number because they wanted to get at me, but it was definitely for the wrong reasons. So then I realized if I want the respect that I deserve and I want guys to talk to me for other than my body, then I should cover myself. So now I do receive more respect and I'm not treated as an object. Especially during these times, it's normal for one young woman to be catcalled and used for their bodies. In an article founded by informationparlor.com, it mentions the reasons behind engaging in prostitution. So it talked about factors such as poverty, victims of trafficking, and people who want a quick income, and the lack of parental care. So if you look at poverty and wanting a quick income, people who don't have a degree are going to be like, okay, what can I do? Oh, I have a nice body. Let me use my body to make money. Oh, let me use what people think is desirable and let me use that as an advantage to make money. Although people recognize they do have a desirable figure, they're using it as an excuse, like, oh, this is okay. We're condemning it because it's a profession now. It's a profession to sell your body. But if you think about it, is that okay? Does that sound right? It sounds degrading to women. And factors such as the lack of parental care. So, as a young child, these years are crucial to your future. And so if children aren't getting the care they need with attention, and they grow up with low self-esteem and not knowing about self-dignity and respect for themselves and knowing how to care for themselves and how other people should treat them, they're gonna grow up with those same feelings towards themselves, such as their body. They're not gonna care about what they do with it. They're just gonna toss their virginity around like it's nothing. And the problem with this is every time you engage in sexual activity, it does have a role on your mental effect, because you're emotionally bonding with someone who you don't even know, and unconsciously you're swapping DNA, and all of this is unhealthy. Especially, it's not going to be sacred in marriage, and how are you going to get married if you don't value intimacy or anything? So all of this does add up, and it plays a role in marriage. Especially if you look at how people who have had multiple partners are having trouble in their marriage with intimacy because they just toss it around and it's less valuable. So all of this has less value. Another thing about prostitution is that it starts by telling women, oh, dress beautiful, wear a tight bodycon suit, make sure your hips and curves are showing, show off your boobs, show off your ass, post it on Instagram. You're gonna get all these likes, and we're teaching women to seduce men, and we're saying, oh yeah, that's the goal. If you look at these commercials, if you look at selling cars, selling perfume, selling makeup, like, oh, if you want to feel sexy for men, all you have to do is put makeup on, wear this dress. So we're ingraining it into our minds as we see these influences on the media without even knowing. So we're saying, oh, it's okay, dance half naked on TikTok, just shake your physical features. Even ages from 5 to 20, even older, it's unlimited. On TikTok you see these influencers just condemning dancing half naked for attention, and they're getting an income out of it, and I see all these young children duetting it and doing the same dances and saying, oh, this is cute, this is flattering. But really, it's teaching kids to sell themselves as objects, especially for women. And this is what leads into prostitution. Another thing is, prostitution is dangerous. According to demandabolition.org, the legalization of prostitution only led to an increase in human trafficking, pimping, and other crimes. So while people say, oh, we should legalize prostitution, and this is why, because it's going to decrease sex trafficking and these crimes and people getting raped, but that's not true, because when you legalize it, people are saying, oh, it's okay. So it also hides the fact of these crimes going on, and oftentimes it's not, and it makes it more harmful for women too, because a lot of them are being forced into these crimes such as trafficking, and it's not consensual sex work a lot of the times, although people say, oh, it's your right, but little do they know what goes on behind the scenes. So California should definitely decriminalize prostitution, because it's going to be beneficial to women who aren't consensual about sex work, and this is going to give them a way out. We need to be here for our public, not condemn giving them away like they're nothing. This will work because making it illegal is going to remove the so-called profession that the younger ages are going to engage in. So it's going to force them to think with their minds rather than their bodies. And this is going to fulfill the needs addressing sex trafficking, because that obviously comes with a lot of trauma that goes on with prostitution, and it's going to decrease the spread of sexually transmitted diseases, HIV, STDs, and many more. And although people say, oh, it's going to increase human trafficking, that is wrong, because it's going to create worse problems if they were to keep legalizing it. And according to the nationalreview.com, it increased public health diseases and human trafficking, so the public was more at risk when they said prostitution was okay. So why we need to make it illegal is because it's overall going to have a positive benefit, and we need to give people a way out. And secondly, it's going to raise a generation of women who are intellects and scholars. We often do not see that in our society. It's crazy. If you think about it, it's all the men who are the intellects and scholars. It's the men who are making the businesses. We just started advocating for women empowerment. We didn't have that before. Women didn't have rights. And since the 1950s and way beyond, they've always been viewed as objects. Unconsciously, we're making it okay in our society to normalize showing our body. Oh, like you always hear these remarks like, yes, girl, shake what your mama gave you. All these guys are going to be looking at you. Why do you want all these guys to look at you? Don't you want people to look at you for the right reasons? Then we need to stop normalizing showing off our bodies for men and just showing it off as sex icons as women and trying to make money out of it. Instead, you should be private with what you have and be more sacred with it, not just toss everything around like it's nothing. Although people say, oh, it's a right, it's not a right. And there's reasons people fall into these bad habits, and I think deep down no one wants to sell their body, but by making it okay, they're like, okay, it's fine, it's normal. Why is it normal? It's not. It's psychologically damaging, and it's not good for our overall health. Not only is it disgusting, but it teaches younger generations that selling yourself is empowering yourself. Because, oh, you have a nice body, you should use it for money. Why can't you use your mind for money? It's degrading, and most of these women have diseases and they can't develop intimate relationships because they are having troubles. Because when you toss your virginity around, you're not going to be able to sustain a healthy relationship, because you're not going to value sex as much as you would if you were more sacred with it. Oftentimes, this is why many religions are the way that they are, and being sacred for one person rather than showing it off for everyone. It is things like prostitution that sells, and it's why women are used as objects rather than intellects. It's your voice that matters to put an end to the false empowerment of women and to ensure the safety of the public. So let's not condemn objectification and vote against it. Thank you.